Good day, everyone. This will be our last topic no, for our final exam. So, Module 8 Strategy Implementation, Change, and Leadership in Tourism. Now, what is this strategy implementation? So, in the phase of strategy, turning plans into results also involves putting into motion, into actions, all the steps needed to achieve strategic goals. Therefore, kanay mo mga plano. So if you have your plans, you have to put some actions into it. Put it into real actions because if you don't act on it, then wala dili ma-achieve imong goals. So example, si local coffee chain. So plans to expand nationwide. So strategy implementation involves mangita og location, strategic location, hiring staff, then marketing campaigns, and ensuring supply chains work efficiently. So kung makita ninyo sa mga infrastructures, other than Boss Coffee, so let's say Jollibee and 7-Eleven. So to find new locations, napo na sila ginatawag na kanang mga strategy. They seek experts, like let's say industrial engineers, na or kan mga real estate real estate na agencies or agents, no? So para mangita sila kung asa ba jud ang nindot or daghan og market, nindot butangan or butangan ng business, di ba? So also it should have good marketing campaigns nung magpaila jud ka nga naa na mo dito ang lugar, no, that you are existing already. Also para ma-ensure nimo ang inyong supply chain works efficiently because if dili ka mag-strategize kung asa ka magput up og business, then it should be that kanining asa mo ang mga supplies, mga logistics, ingana. No? So there should be a good plan so that your goals could be feasible. And then next is why strategy implementation important. Strategy is useless without execution, of course, di ba? So even kamo no as a student, mag-strategize jud mo no unsaon ninyo pag-graduate, unsaon ninyo pagpasar sa exam. No? So even sa inyong, let's say kamo if manguyab mo, mag-strategize jud mo unsaon man ako ni siya pagkuha sa iyahang kiliti no para makasiya siya sa kuha. No? So ingana mga strategy sa students. Also, it helps turn vision into reality. So kung nakay panglantaw, if you have a good strategy, then it could be that ma-put into reality na imuhang panlantaw nimo. No? And also ensures everyone in the organization is aligned and moving together. So, example, si City Tourism Office plans to boost tourist arrivals. Implementation means improving facilities, training staff, promoting on social media, and coordinating with local business. So, let's say sa Tua, diri sa Panabo or sa Davao City. So, mag-improve jud ta og facilities, di ba? Because CR pa lang daan, murag dili na kaayo adtuan og turista, no? Nga kita as Filipinos, as locals, di ba? Murag ingon na ay naglaag kay ba nag CR. Di ba? So ingana ang impression sa isa ka tower, sa isa ka tourist. Also, training staff. It is very important because once kamo maging more likely maging FA mo, maging tourist guide mo, ingana. So, di ba ang pinaka-importante is your values and how are you going to kanining accommodate the client. And also, promoting on social media. Diba? So, it is really important. Para labi na daghan na og mga existing na promotions sa TikTok, ingana, and Facebook. No? So, grabe na kayo mag-edit. No? Green kung green kayo ilahang mga postings and blue kung blue kayo ang dagat. Grabe kayo pagka-edit. No? So, somehow, there are false advertisements but dili man dyan na maiwasan but supposedly it has to be an honest advertisement. Also, create coordinating with the local businesses. No? So, it is good to have a good connection with your local businesses. No? So, build good connections with the people around you as you make business. And then, ano pa? So, strategy implementation techniques and best practices. So first, naatay, ensure that plans are aligned with organizational mission, vision, and values. So, and so on, hanggang 11 na siya. So, first, di ba, ensure na to atong plano, mo-align jud sa ato ang VMG or VMC or sa tawag diha, di ba? So, mga mission, vision, and values. So, make sure that all your actions match your company's goal. No? So, example, di mong hotel, nakay hotel. A sustainable hotel, let's say sa Tagaytay, it must only work with suppliers who also support eco-friendly values. So, kung inyong goal is to support eco-friendly values, then it should be aligned with that. Inyong hotel, supposedly, na yung mga eco-friendly na mga, let's say, towels, any mga cups, mga ingana, and so on. And also, second is you have to build in an effective leadership team. So, choose leaders who can move and guide the team. Nung dili itong, usually manggod sa Philippines is we have this mentality ba, crab mentality. No? So, we withhold ideas, we withhold our knowledge para kita lang ang nainaibalan. No? Kita lang ang nakabalo. No? So, which is somehow really not effective if you want your team to be successful, because you have to guide the team, you have to motivate the team. And how can you motivate them if you don't share your knowledge on how to do things correctly? Ingana. So choose a leader who can motivate, or be the leader that you want to be, or you want to have, because we have leaders that we don't like, and if you don't like the kind of leadership na ang isa ka leader, then ayaw i-follow and ayaw pod himua, diba? Next is we have create an implementation plan. So write down a clear steps on how to make your strategy. How can you make it happen? Example, so natay man Davao-based travel agency launching online bookings, and prepare si timeline. So sa website pa lang, ready na dapat ang from January to, let's say, first quarter, or ready na din ang first semester. Atong i-ready na nimo si mga mahitabo, mga marketing campaigns, and mga staff training, na. So, create an implementation plan. Fourth is we have allocate budgetary resources. Now, you have to set aside enough money for everything needed, diba? So, if, let's say, a hotel in Cebu wants to go kanang solar good, they want to use solar panels, then they have to set aside 3 million from the annual budget for the installation and maintenance, diba? As we all know, very expensive jud ang mag-solar. So, kana siya. So, that's one of the strategy implementation techniques and best practices. Fifth is that we have assigned objectives and responsibilities. So, give each team clear goals and duties. Diba? Even kamo as a student. So, if you were assigned to something, as let's say kamo, as a third year student, diba? You were tasked to organize an event. So, it should have a kanining clear goals and duties and responsibilities kada team. Kinsay mo print and kinsay mo hold sa mga certificates para dili magkawala-wala. Kinsay mga list of people that kanang naay dapat certificates, para naay isa nga point person na kanang kato siya adto siya kay siya ang nag-hold and nag-print sa tanang certificates. And the next one is we have here because kana siya nga instances, very important siya ang mga certificates sa isa ka event, diba? As you have experienced sa inyong tourism cup, so there are I think there are commotions kung asa ang certificates na butang, kinsay naghawid, kinsay nagprint, and so on, diba? You have experienced it firsthand na mag-organize. And next is we have 6 is align structures and processes. Now, next is Number 6, align structures and processes. Now, make sure your system help the strategy and not block it. No, so, let's say if the hotel wants faster check-ins. So, it should be that mag-switch mo from paper logs to a digital system, 'di ba? Kaya somehow kana mga paper check-ins, kana manual na mga pagsulat sa check-in is dili siya efficient, no? Mangita pa ka kinsa may mo check-in kanong orasa, kinsa mo check-out karong orasa ingana. And more likely dako chances na kanang madugay and mamali, no? So it is better na magka digital system. And then next is align people. Number 7. So once you align your people, you have to train and motivate your staff to support the strategy. Let's say example, um, a travel agency that shifts to LGBTQ inclusive tourism trains staff on sensitivity and diversity. No, so dapat jud kung nag-travel agency mo and you are shifting to LGBTQ+++, ang mga ingan na inclusive tourism, you have to train your staff to be sensitive and to be diverse on the words that you are using, no? Because there are people who get offended on how they were called, no? So ingana siya. Next is communicate the strategy. Now, everyone in the organization should understand the plan. An example, so, a resort in Davao holds a general assembly where the owner explains the new direction or the overall direction of the company so that all departments are on the same page. No? So it is really important that everyone in your team has the knowledge and understands what are you gonna do or what you're about to do. No? So ingana siya. Communicate well. No? So mo man ni pinaka-importante sa organization ng proper communication. Next is the review and report on progress. So regularly check how well things are going and fix problems early, because when we know how the things are going on and how we can fix we will know how we can fix the problem as soon as possible. So example, natay tour company sa vegan, and then i-check nila ang monthly sales and then the customer review to see if their new heritage tour is performing well. So there are really importante dyan ang mga feedbacks sa mga customers. Also i-check nimo kung nagataas ba inyong monthly sales, diba? So ang importante dyan sa isa ka business or sa isa ka team or organization is that you have to check on your progress. With that, if nakikita ni mo na detect progress, then you would also think na maybe we can continue this kind of good strategy. No, if wala po nag-do well ang inyong business or organization, it is not doing well, then makita ninyo unsay dapat i-fix, diba? Next is make strategy and adjustment as necessary. So that's it is important as well na maging flexible, no? If change plans if something is not working well, no? If naadjay mga dili maayong panghitabo, then might as well baguhon ninyo inyong strategy, diba? So next is 11, develop an organizational culture that supports the strategy. Now, it is important to create a workplace attitude where everyone believes in the plan. Because if someone is not having faith or is not trusting the plan, then might as well, di ba, dili niya tarungon ang iyahang trabaho. Kaya wala man siya nagtuo sa inyong plano. No? So, if you're in an organization, it should be that kanang inyong plano as a team, na may salig sa inyong plano, that it will succeed as well, diba? Because dili man lang din magsalig sa inyong plano, then nganong nagplano pa man, diba? So that is really important. So now one of the most important thing is ato sa next part, you have to memorize this. So please understand and memorize the barriers and resistance to strategy implementation. So I think okay, so in your module we have 5 barriers and resistance to strategy. So important kayo nino, please jud memorize this and understand this. Now first barriers and resistance to strategy is that strategy that is too lofty and non-pragmatic. So unsa maning too lofty and non-pragmatic? So when we say too lofty, sa man ang nasa inyong mind? So kani siya is when you are too kaning ambitious and your strategy is kana unrealistic na siya. No? So parang unattainable na siya. So yan yung too lofty and non-pragmatic. So the plan sounds great but it's too ideal or very ambitious na dyan. Dili siya practical for daily operation. For example, natay hotel diri sa Davao says na yung example lang ha, yung vision daw is to be the Asia's most sustainable resort. No? So, ingan ang ato ang natay resort diri sa Davao. Mao daw ilahang vision, Asia's most sustainable resort. But wala di sila nag-train og staff on eco-friendly practices, nag-use di sila mga plastic bottles and non-renewable energy. So it could be that the vision is good but it stays on poster, not in action. So wala nila na-apply sa ilang pananawon sa ilahang company. Second is overly focused on immediacy. So unsa man na siya? Ani nga second barrier is that it focuses on urgent tasks, not on strategic goals. So leaders are too busy with mga daily problems and often forget mga long-term goals. Let's say, example nato, natay tour company sa Cebu. So this tour company wants to expand into ecotourism. Pero unsa problema? The manager is always busy fixing last-minute bookings and also daghan og mga lost luggages issues. So no time spent in planning or executing the ecotourism strategy. Unsaon pag-resolve sa lost luggage issues. So ingana ang mga mahitabo no. So focus ra kay ta sa urgent task, not on strategic goals. Third barrier is doing what we like to do. So, doing what we like and what is needed, di ba? Kung sa in simple words pa. So, the leaders keep doing tasks that they enjoy. Kung sila yung gusto himuon and what you are used to, not what the strategy needs. Diba? So, more likely, nga naman po nang ugali nato sometimes, diba? Kanila akong gusto himuon because I want to do what I like lang, not the needed ones. So, ingana. So, example na to sa business. So, let's say, na owner sa Panabo City nga cafe. So, the owner loves designing interiors, so he keeps redecorating. Instead na mag-launch o marketing campaign, instead of training staff on customer service, sige lang og design sa interiors para aesthetic. Diba? Marag medyo off ra kayo, lahi ra kayo ang padulngan. So strategy stalls because he avoids doing outside his comfort zone. So mura man to yung ganahan. Magsige rag design. Nakalimot na siya na kailangan niya mag-train og staff para maayo ang customer service. Fourth barrier. So lack of congruency at the top and commitment from the middle. So, kulang og congruency at the top and commitment from the middle. So, no unity sa top management and no buy-in from middle managers. So, mga top leaders daw don't agree or nag-send og mixed signals. Mga middle managers naman, they don't support no, the strategy. So, lisod kayo na. Kung wala ka mo mismo, mga top management ninyo, dili nag-support sa strategy. Next is not reviewing often enough. So, if you don't regularly check and update your plan, people forget it, 'di ba? Kung even kita, 'di ba? Usually, if we don't check or like let's say or kanang modules, labi na paghapit na exam, no? So, malimtan gyud na to na. So, we lose focus as well. So, muna siya importante kayo na mag-review sa plan and also let's not lose focus, once there is a strategy. So, mo yung mga 5 barriers and resistance through strategy implementation. So, please remember this. Next, we have defining manager and leader. There is a question in your module. So, is a good manager automatically a good leader? So, and what is the difference between leadership and also management? Kung maayo na ba ka nga manager, automatic na ba nga maayo pud ka nga leader? Or and vice versa? So, naanay difference ang manager o ang leader. So, leadership is the ability to influence, abilidad niya siya. To influence, motivate, and enable others to continue to contribute to organizational success. So, main difference ng dalawang to is that the leaders and the managers is that ang leader have the people follow them. Na siya mga tao nga mo follow sa iya. Whereas, ang manager naman, they have the people to work for them. So, isa na mag-follow, isa kay may mag-work for them. So, unsa may mga key traits of a good leader? Una, it should have honesty and integrity. So, people should trust you and believe in you. Also, you have vision. So, you know the direction of the business. You know where you are. You know where you want to go. And you know and enroll your team in charting a path for the future. Next is inspiration. So, you excite others about the goal. And you inspire the team to be all they can by making sure they understand their role in the bigger picture. Next is to have courage and the courage to challenge. So you're not afraid to try new ideas. So do not be afraid to do things differently and have the courage to think outside the box. Next is communication. So you explain the mission clearly. So keep your team informed of the journey where you are, where you're heading, and share any roadblocks you may encounter along the way. So that's the key traits of a good leader. Next is we have unsa maning manager. As we said, ganihan na kay people to work for you. So, a manager naman is someone who plans, organizes, and monitors the work so goals can be achieved efficiently. So, ano naman ang key traits ng isang manager? So, manager executes the plan. So, and directs you to the daily operation. A good manager creates rules and standards and supports and listens to the team. So, nga na ang good manager. Of course, di ba? So, at some point, maabot yun mo sa time na maging manager na mo. As you execute the plan, make sure na maminaw mo sa may mga kaning comments and suggestions and struggles sa inyong team members. So, pinaka-importante dyan na maging good communicator ta. Next is morning question kaganiha. Ibalik lang na to. Is a good manager automatically a good leader? Come on, so may tanaw ninyo. Now, to further have an idea if a good manager ba is automatically a good leader, let's have this leadership style. Under traditional leadership style, so we have 3: authoritarian, participative, and delegative. So The traditional leadership style, these are introduced by Kurt Lewin in 1939. So, pag may tag authoritarian or autocratic, obviously, no, those who have authority. So, the meaning the leader or the boss decides everything. No input from the staff and kanang nice strict rules and nice supervision. So, kaning authoritarian, it is the best kapag na ay mga fast decisions na kailangan. No? And the leader is more skilled than the team. So, mo na mas maayo. If authoritarian ka, mas maayo nga na kay skills, expertise, because when quick decisions are needed, then mas maayo nga na kay directive. And then, so may problema ani. So, the staff may feel afraid or not motivated. Siyempre kay ikaw lang man ang gusto mag-decide sa tanan, di ba? Wala na may input from the staff. So, that's the downside. Next part ng traditional leadership style is that we have participative or democratic. So, the leader asks for opinions and listen, but still makes the final call. So, the team members have good ideas and you want teamwork and motivation. So, that's why nagapangayo ni si leader of opinion and nagapaminaw siya sa team members. So, this is a democratic, participative style of leadership. And then, ang downside lang po daan is that slower on decisions or confusion if role is unclear. So, nga na ang participative or democratic leadership style. The third one is delegative or this is pronounced as laissez-faire leadership. So, mingon po ning delegative or laissez-faire leadership is that the leader gives the team the tools, then step back, and then lets the team decide. So, this is best kapag the team is skilled, mature, and self-motivated. And the downside of this is that weak ang performance if the team lacks discipline or experience. So, because ginahatag naman mo ang tools sa team mismo. Then, you let them decide naman. Diba? So, mo na yung downside. Kung wala sila expertise, wala sila experience. So, you delegate it to them. So, much better is mas skilled ang team, mas mature, and nice self-motivation. And then, the next leadership style is, so, naingon naman ito may ganiha. The next is transactional leadership. This focuses on tasks, rules, and rewards. You work, you get paid, so clear ang exchange. So, the task, this is best when you want consistency and clear structure. But ang problem ani, it doesn't inspire passion or creativity. Example, may restaurant sa Davao. Example, mayroon ang manager na, mayroon siya sa waitress na, if makahit mo sa sales quota, then naamoy bonus. Then, if malate po mo, then naamoy deduction sa inyong salary. So, nga na siya. You work, you get paid, and then, nga na, the clear exchange or consequences. Nga na, transactional leadership. Next is charismatic leadership. So, charismatic leadership is the leader is confident, energetic, and admired, and people want to follow them. So, this is best when you want to excite and unite people. So, you have known leaders, di ba, na charismatic kayo, no, confident siya, and, I know one, no, he was our former president, I think he's that kind of leader. And, let's say, ang best ani is that, I've said ganina no na you want to excite and unite the people. Ang problem ni is that over-reliance on the leader's personality. So, with this charismatic leadership, it could be na may makagain mo og mga potential investors. So, that's the good side of course, charismatic leadership as well. The next leadership style is we have transformational leadership. So, it inspires the team with shared vision, pushes for growth, and cares for each member. Now, this leadership, transformational leadership is ang best is when you want long-term success and loyal employees. So applicable ni sa ingana. And then the problem is that it's hard to measure and not all leaders are naturally inspiring. Diba? Ingana man jud ang usual na mga leaders. Dili man tanan jud inspiring. And lisod pud magsige ka og push og growth sa imong mga members, and if your members are not aiming for growth, no? So that's the downside for the transformational leadership. So ang best ani additionally is that kung naga-push og growth sa iyang mga members, meaning ganahan siya mag-hold og trainings, naga-mentor siya, and nag-uplift siya sa iyang mga tao. And the next leadership style is we have servant leadership. Ano ni ang last leadership style. So the leader puts the team needs first and then focus on helping, listening, and serving. So you want a caring culture and team loyalty. So nga na imong gusto ma-establish sa imong grupo. Na team loyalty, and you want it to have a caring culture. Ang problema lang ani is that ang servant leadership may be slow in making tough decisions because more motherly good imuhang ang imuhang affection sa imong team. So makatana ka like, are you okay with your schedule, or do you need anything to do? Ingana. So more on motherly type of leadership ni siya, servant leadership. She helps, like let's say she helps the staff personally, even magdala kag pagkaon no sa imong mga staff. So in return, imong team members maging loyal and maging hardworking at some point. So I think this is the last leadership style. So we have 7 leadership style, and then the next one is that the 4 key leadership traits in hospitality and tourism. Gamay na lang. So few slides left. So bear with our kaning topic. So first we have adaptability. So you can adjust easily, handle pressure, and stay calm even when things don't go as planned. So ingani ba mo, you can handle pressure, you can stay calm. So ingana siya. So I hope so as a tourism student, you will have this kind of kaning leadership traits, because soon you will be one of the leaders, managers ng ana. So adaptability, let's say naka sa front desk, you're a front desk officer in Palawan Resort, and you handle last minute guest complaint about the broken aircon. So instead of panicking, you fix calmly and offer a free room upgrade or drinks while the issue is being fixed. So ingana siya ng mga style, you handle it with graceful attitude. Next is we have here team oriented. Yan yung second na key leadership traits. You work well with others and support your team to help solve problems and make sure everyone succeeds. So dili jud mag-iya-iya sa as a ng part sa tourism na kaning industry. So you work well with others, and let's say why it matters, because tourism and hospitality are teamwork heavy industries. Success depends on everyone working together, diba? Syempre kung naisa magkamali sa inyo let's say madamay ang image sa inyong ginatrabahuan, maka-affect siya kung mobalik pa ba inyong customer, may ana. So that's why team oriented na key leadership traits is very important. And next is entrepreneurial. So you think like a business owner. You look for new ideas, solve for problems, and take responsibilities. So isipon nimo kanang gitrabahuan, uy kanang part jud ko ani, no? So you think like you're the business owner, pero ayaw pod panghilog og kuan position sa business owner. And you think like you really love your workplace. So let's say night tour guide in Davao notices tourists love local food. He proposes a new street food tour to the agency owner and helps organize it himself. So, ingana na mga entrepreneurial skills ba? So, since nag-care man ka sa imuhang work, and then you treat your workplace or your work as your own. So, with additional revenue stream, additional income na po na if dagan gana street food tour, then it is better, diba? So, it matters because it improves the guest experience and help business grow with innovation. Lastly is passionate. So you love what you do, and then you bring energy, excitement, and positivity to your job every day. So, why it matters, man? Because guests can feel it. Mga guests, nung ma-feel gina nila nga sincere ka, passionate ka sa ginahimo. And kana siya maka-build na siya loyalty and positive reviews. So, kanang those are the things ba nga importante pod na ma-show na to na naatay passionate ta sa tong job, diba? Now, next topic would be international leadership. So, international leadership helps group like ASEAN, UN, WTO work together by building trust, guiding policies, and leading with both influence, which is the soft power, and resources, which is the hard power. So, in today's knowledge-based global economy, leadership is no longer just about managing local team. It's about understanding and working across international borders, cultures, time zones, and industries. So, a key shift has happened. We now trade data and information more than physical goods, which requires leaders who can analyze, interpret, and apply knowledge across different cultures. So, di ba, as we all know, we are getting into the realm of more technology-based na. So, we exchange datas. So, even mga cultures, no? So, daga nag-exchange of cultures. We accept their culture, they accept our cultures, may nga. And then, next, yes, 3 key steps to build global leadership competence. So, by the way, if you don't know what is UNWTO is, so mo ni siya ang United Nations World Tourism Organization. So, this specialized agency is kanang sa United Nations ni siya that serves as the world leading international organization in the field of tourism. Nag-focus na sila as a driver of economic growth and inclusive development, and also environmental sustainability. They also advocate for a responsible, sustainable, and universally accessible tourism. So that's UNWTO. I think you're all familiar with ASEAN, so as Association of Southeast Asian Nations, mainly including Brunei or Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Singapore, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam. So those are some countries na include sa ASEAN. Also, ASEAN promotes cultural exchange and maintain regional peace and stability. So, of course, since we have international leadership, we have these 3 key steps to build global leadership competence. Okay, last 3 slides na lang nino. So, una, we have to identify the specific goals, global skills, and talent needed. So, before training future global leaders, the organization must first determine what specific skills, traits, and experience are needed based on the role, and where will it be performed. Example na to. Say a Filipino hotel chain expanding to Vietnam. So, of course, they need manager who can speak basic Vietnamese or English fluently, understand Vietnamese customer behavior, and can adapt Filipino hospitality to local culture. Next is we have design, learning, and training programs. So once the needed skills and traits are clear, they are identified, the next step is to develop training programs tailored to teach competencies effectively. Okay, so train your leaders. So make sure the training fits the local culture, also the language and time zone. Example, Filipino travel agency working with a Korean and Japanese tourist trains their staff in basic Korean and Japanese phrases. Also sa may mga cultural expectations like bowing, 'di ba? Usually common dyan sa Korean and Japanese. Also ka ng mga formality. So, 'di ba kung nagatanaw mo og Korean drama, nadji sila ka ng formality good sa pagstorya. Um, let's say sa mga professionals or sa mas tiguang pa sa imuha, na kay dapat nadyo kay dapat kanang in respectful words dili sa ilaha. And then even sa Japanese, lahi po na ilahang kanang way of kanang talking ba sa showing some respect to elders. And so kadto kailangan nimo mahibalan ilahang language, then timely service and food preferences. So avoid these common mistakes. So don't assume that kanang one size fits all training works, no? So lahi gyud na siya. And don't ignore local customs and practices. Lastly, nandiyo sa last, grow experience. No? So, ongoing development. So, leadership skills don't fully develop in a classroom. They grow through real-world experience, especially when exposed to diverse teams, global situations, and cultural challenges. So, give your leaders chances to apply what they learned. So, if international assignments are too expensive, then use local opportunities. Example, mag-invite mo foreign expats or consultants to give seminars. Ingana. Partner with International Chamber of Commerce in Manila. So, also encourage staff to read global news. And kana siya. So, tip lang siguro in international airports like NAIA, customer service teams learn on the job daily by handling foreign travelers. So this is practical experience. No? So nga na siya. Even sa Davao, makahandle mo dyan mga foreign travelers. So you grow your experience as a tourism student. And this is the last topic. So God bless everyone. Have a great day.